In recent years, subscription-based services such as PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass have become dominant forces in the video game industry. These platforms promise consumers access to a vast library of games for a relatively low monthly fee, offering convenience and affordability that are hard to resist. However, beneath the surface level appeal, these services may carry big downsides for consumers, developers, and the industry as a whole. Subscription-based services risk reshaping gaming in ways that may not really benefit those who love it the most. One of the biggest drawbacks of subscription services is the loss of true ownership. When users purchase a physical or digital game outright, they can access and play that game whenever they choose, regardless of changes to licensing or server availability. In contrast, games available through PlayStation Plus or Xbox Game Pass are only accessible as long as they remain on the service. Games are frequently rotated in and out of these platforms, meaning a game you were enjoying one month may disappear the next. This undermines the player's ability to curate a personal collection and revisit titles over time, turning games to disposable entertainment. These services also complicate the issues of video game preservation. As more titles become tied to subscription platforms, fewer physical games are made and sold. Digital-only releases may never be preserved outside of the ecosystems of Sony or Microsoft. If a game becomes unavailable due to licensing issues or server shutdowns, then it may be lost to time. This is really troubling for indie games or niche titles that may not receive widespread distribution outside of these services. In this way, subscription models contribute to the loss of gaming history. While services like Xbox Game Pass may offer a guaranteed upfront payment to developers, this model can cause creative risk-taking. Developers might feel pressured to design games that align with the algorithm or playtime metrics, rather than focusing on artistic integrity or experimental mechanics. Additionally, subscriptions may favor large publishers who can afford rising and falling revenues, while smaller studios may struggle to survive if their game doesn't perform well within the ecosystem. Over time, this could result in a flooded landscape of safe, market-driven titles that lack innovation. The Netflix of gaming model also raises concerns about long-term financial stability. These services rely on maintaining a steady influx of new and appealing content to retain subscribers. However, creating high-quality games is expensive and time-consuming, and the economics of a flat subscription fee may not scale well with rising development costs. Just as Netflix is now cutting back on original content and increasing prices, gaming platforms are doing the same. This, of course, is leading to higher subscription fees, fewer quality titles, or increased microtransactions and in-game monetization to make up the difference. Subscription models are controlled by the hands of platform holders, Sony and Microsoft. They decide which games are featured, promoted, or even discoverable, which can limit consumer exposure to diverse or offbeat experiences. Indie developers in particular may find it harder to compete in a crowded catalog. Furthermore, with exclusivity deals and content fragmentation, players may be forced to subscribe to multiple services just to access the games they want, reintroducing the cost concerns these services were supposed to solve. Now, I know I have only been talking about the bad side of these services, but there is a good side to them as well. Like, they are a great discovery tool because there's no additional cost to try a game. You can experiment with games or titles you wouldn't normally buy, and this really helps indie developers reach a wider audience. And gamers can experience these games without the financial risk. Xbox Game Pass stands out by offering first-party games on release day, something I think Sony should start doing as well. Also, Game Pass is available on PC as well as console, all under one account. You get online multiplayer access by having these services, so you don't have to pay for a separate account. And last, You do get some value out of having PS Plus or Game Pass, especially if you're someone who likes to jump from game to game and never finish them. As the recording of this video, Game Pass costs $12 for PC and $20 for Ultimate, which gives you access to PC and console. That's $240 a year for Ultimate. When Game Pass first came out back in 2017, it was only $10 a month. PlayStation Plus, on the other hand, has 3 different options. Essential for $10 a month, which is a waste of time because you don't get much here. Then you have Extra for $15 a month and Premium for $18. That's $216 a year for Premium. But if you pay for 1 year off top, you get a discounted price of $160. So depending on how many games you buy a year, this could save you some money, since new games are now selling for $70 plus. So while PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass offer somewhat value and convenience, they come with hidden costs. The shift towards subscription-based gaming risks undermining player ownership, jeopardizing preservation efforts, distorting creative priorities, and centralizing control in a few powerful hands. As these services continue to grow in popularity, it is crucial for consumers and industry stakeholders alike to consider not just the short-term benefits, but also the long-term consequences. In seeking to make gaming more accessible and affordable, we must be careful not to sacrifice the diversity, creativity, and independence that made gaming truly special.